It flips everything backwards.
Yeah, I never noticed that until you said something.
Oh.
I think we are live. Atheist Edge. Oh, the camera's all jacked. Yeah, we're live. Hello, everyone. This is supposed to be a live show with Dusty Smith, Cult of Dusty, and we're still trying to put out the feelers with him, but we're going to keep trying. But for now, it's going to be TJ and I. We're going to do just a random topic question. So I'm just going to shoot you the first question. Don't look yet.
Okay.
Pick a number between 1 and 95.
Everybody does 69s. Can't choose that one because I've heard that one like a lot.
And Chris, we Cyrus the Skeptic here too. There he is.
No, I'm not. That's a lie. Don't lie to your audience.
Chime in.
You know what the significance of 77 is?
70s. I know 7s and 40s are real big in the Bible.
It's like 69, but the girl gets 8 more.
Oh boy. That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be that's the tone of the show. We've said it. Okay, pick a number.
77.
Oh, okay.
Why not, right? I'm a giver.
I got 95 questions here, so I guess I'm Martin Luther. So for the two of you that hear this, then that understand that reference, say something in the comments or the live chat. Oh, Chris, can you monitor live chat? Because I'm not even looking at it.
I've already sent a message.
In case there's any questions or whatnot. All right, ready? Here we go, TJ. Would you, oh boy, would you agree with me that just because we cannot see something with our eyes, such as our, let me give you some, this is a question that was posed by Norman Geisler in his book, Conversational Evangelism.
Okay.
All right, so this is a question from a Christian. Would you agree with me that just because we cannot see something with our eyes, such as our mind, gravity, magnetism, or the wind, that does not mean it doesn't exist? See what they did there? I'm sure someone else would love to chime in on this one too. Because we can't see.
I would agree with that, but if the follow-on to that statement or that line of reasoning is that since God's just like that, and even though you can't see him, that doesn't prove he doesn't exist. We can still detect things like like we've detected gravitation, like gravity waves. Like we've detected things that you can't see, like air is made up of particulate matter.
I think what? Someone else might want to chime in on this shit.
Oh man,
so I've often heard
that
we can't prove that air exists because we can't see the wind, but we can still detect that air is particulate matter. There are ways that we can verify it's not spiritual life force like it was described in the Bible. There's actual particles involved in this. And, when you can evacuate all of the air from a vessel, and it'll become a vacuum within that. So we know that there's a thing that is air, even though we can't see it. Right. So there's ways of verifying this, and everybody wants to argue with it. This is somehow some kind of justification that there's a God, that we can't see atoms. So how do we know that atoms exist? Well, there's a whole buttload of experiments that prove that atoms exist. You can't show me butt kiss that your magic imaginary friend exists. Like that's the problem.
Yeah, invisible man in the sky.
Devil's advocate. Do we have a tool or machine that can detect if love exists?
Yes,
it's a brain state. Yeah. So yes,
there's actually a chemical signature for different types of love. For different types of love,
and large amounts of chocolate can duplicate it, right?
If you apparently women are susceptible to.
I think both men and women. I think eating large doses of chocolate can recreate that same exact chemical pattern in the brain.
Let's see if I can do that right now. Give me just a bit.
All right, Chris. Number 21 and 95.
Between 21 and 95?
1 and 95.
I just realized there's a kitten on that guy's shoulder.
Yeah.
Look at that little. Oh, talk about your kitten, Cyrus. Today was the first day he did what?
Today was the first, or yesterday actually was the first day that they ate solid food. We've been having to nurse them with a bottle up until this point. They still have to be nursed a little bit, but they are starting to eat solids now, which is great. But
yes, today is the first day that it shit down the back of his shirt.
Actually, it would not be the first day. It would not be the first day they've done that. We've had to have several emergency laundry runs thanks to these guys. Just like, hey.
Oh, like, human babies before they start shitting regular shit. What's that black stuff that comes out when
tar stuff?
Yeah, there's a word for it.
It's the amniotic.
No,
I don't know. It's a hormone. It's a hormone thing.
Oh, Dusty goddamn Smith.
Oh shit. Who's this? Who's this motherfucker right now?
Bam! Look who we got.
Guys, you guys
are going.
What the?
We got 2 celebrities now. Oh, you're right on time. Okay. Fuck introductions.
As always.
Pick a number between 1 and 95. Oh, you got any intro you want to talk about?
No, never. I never have anything going on, so go ahead.
Pick a number between 1 and 95.
1, of course. I'm number 1, dudes.
No one's ever picked 1.
No one's ever picked 1.
Oh God! Right off. Here we
Yeah,
go.
you do win.
You win the
internet, sir.
It's the longest question there is. How do you define morality? Is it subjective or objective? Please, let's only stay on this for like 10 minutes or less.
God.
Yeah, please only stay on this for 10 minutes because I could talk on it for hours. I don't want to.
Let's get real tight. Let's keep the focus tight. Can human suffering be objectively and scientifically measured?
It depends on whether you get caught.
God.
Dustin, what do you say to that?
In my opinion, it's subjective. It's an opinion, but it's an opinion that can be based on logic, based on observation and deciding upon that observation what is more probably true than not. So while everything is basically an opinion because our minds are incapable of, 100% knowledge, the best we can do is probability because we're idiots. So everything is basically subjective, but yeah, we can use logic and reason to come upon a reasonable, answer to that question, in my opinion.
If no life existed in the universe, would there still be morality? If this current universe was completely lifeless, would there still be a form of morality?
If there's no mind to contemplate that, then I guess not. You need a mind to contemplate morality for there to be morality, seems like.
I'm sure Steve McCrae has a label for that. I don't know what that is.
With no agency, there is.
I was about to say that's my argument as well. Is that without a moral agent, you can't have morality. You have to have a moral agent first.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Aaron, pick a number between 1 and 95.
19.
We're switching
Don't
gears.
ask me why I chose 19.
Well, the question is 1 year after legal, so I guess we're okay.
That's exactly. How did you guess?
Actually, it's 17
in Guantanamo Bay. Don't ask me why I know that.
And New York, right?
Cuba.
Is the government and/or the private drug trade deliberately targeting people with darker skin?
Yes.
Amplify, please.
Yes.
Oh, good. So let me. I wrote the question.
Elaborate is what is the word you were looking for.
The private drug trade. How are they targeting minorities? And the illicit drug trade, how is that targeting minorities?
The reason that the drug laws that we have were written in the first place was because they would disproportionately isolate and criminalize blacks and Hispanics.
I'm okay with that, yeah.
Anyone have opposing to that?
Well, that's true. The illegal drug laws, definitely. Now, whether the private drug companies are doing that, I don't know. But as far as the laws, definitely they're targeting minorities. I mean, minorities are like blacks specifically are 4 times more likely to be arrested for drug charges when they have about the same uses of drugs, which obviously the system is targeting them.
Well, they have like 5 times the interaction.
And I've heard so many white people tell me that that the reason that we're blacks or that the blacks are disproportionately pulled over, arrested, convicted, and served time and longer sentences and so forth is because they're committing all the crimes. When I know that can't be the case, and that the person feeding me that line of bullshit knows that can't be the case.
I think a lot of them do think that's the case. I just think they don't know any better. I think they've been fed these lines over and over again by people who don't have their best interest at heart, and they've come to believe it. That's what I think. I think a lot of these people, they just don't know any better. It's really easy for the rich to use their money to make people vote against their own best interest, to convince them of things that are untrue. And they play the race card beautifully when it comes to that. They divide and conquer.
Regurgitating information is part of our education system right now anyway, so you're kind of trained to do it. At least in the public education sphere.
Yeah, that's true. They don't really teach you how to think; they teach you what to think, which is sort of the problem.
In some cases, as long as you don't have somebody using that as a point in favor for the teach the controversy shit. Because I'm sorry,
teach the controversy, man. Come on.
Anytime somebody says teach the controversy, I'm just like, oh no, somebody needs a boot down their neck. And
all viewpoints are equal and deserve equal time. Come on.
Bullshit. Bullshit. I've had flat earthers on my channel. Bullshit.
Our host had to run away for a moment to change his diaper, but he is back. Almost.
In the meantime,
so close.
Have these.
We're gonna keep it going.
Reconnect your safety pin. Come on.
Chris hasn't gotten one yet, so let's do a 1 through 95 for Chris.
Oh dear.
Yep. Go.
I think I'll go with let's go with 12. Why not?
Well,
I think Holy
we
Kool-Aid
already answered that though.
Holy Kool-Aid did that one.
Pick a number between 35 and 37.
Between 35 and 37?
We just did 12.
Including both 35 and 37?
You just answered 12 though before we went live. You remember Whiteface?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Screw it.
You know what, Aaron, you've pushed me into it. 36.
36.
Aaron pushed me into 36. We'll do it.
You don't even know which one 36.
Okay. What can be done to bring the atheist community back together? Do you see divisiveness ending anytime soon, or when and how do you think it all started?
That's 3 different questions.
Yeah, that's a lot of different questions. I guess the first one, when and how it all started. Okay, well, let's start with when atheism started and go from there. And we've probably got a list of 100 things. I have a feeling the implications of that question were like the YouTube atheist community. If that's the case, then it might be when it might have been when atheism plus and everything went more political.
I would say that it was probably in an elevator in Dublin in
2011.
Yes,
that's what I say.
And I was in that elevator.
Not at the exact time.
No,
you were in it at some point.
I rode
not
in that
one.
elevator.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dusty, you know what we're talking about?
Yeah,
Dublin,
elevator.
2011.
I'm assuming elevator again. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when it started. Dude, look at any of the divisiveness prior to that. You won't find it. That's exactly when it happened.
Yeah.
Now, whether it can all come together again, or how, the next question was, how can it all be fixed? How can it all be brought back together again? The answer simply is duct tape.
Nah. What do you think, Chris?
I'd say personally, I'd say personally, one of the this is one of the ways that me and even other theists have managed to kind of reconcile some of this. Because obviously, I have an atheist channel, so I have a horse in the race where some theists aren't very happy with the fact that I have it. But the way that I've generally found is that when you do have two sides with a disagreement, figure out what your actual ultimate goal is. If we're all here basically trying to fight for the same side of humanism, then that's actually something that people can work towards. And if we disagree, treat it like a workplace. There are people that you don't like in your workplace. Suck it up.
That's not what they're here for, though. They're here to make money, though. That's what the skepticism is turning into.
Hey, guess what? That's what you do in the workplace, too.
Yeah.
You make money in the workplace as well.
Yeah, but hopefully you pick your job according to your moral code and don't do things that are outside your moral code to make money.
I know, like,
who picks their job because of their moral code?
I do.
I worked 14 years in a corporate office that was exactly the same as Mr. Incredible's job in the movie Incredibles.
Yeah.
Where my job was to deny little ladies their insurance coverage. That was my job.
That seems terrible, though. Did that make you
exactly. It was.
Everybody has to live, right? And I think most normal people don't really they don't take moral considerations of what they're doing into
well, they should. I do.
I mean, maybe they have it.
I'm not trusting holier than thou, but I definitely do. Like, I could have made a lot of fucking money doing a lot of shady shit, and I didn't do it.
So, Aaron, I do have it.
Prior to that, I worked in an adult video rental, and that was a much more moral job.
Agreed.
So, on your thing, on your denying insurance to old ladies things, I do have it on good faith. Seth Andrews has a picture of you where you look exactly like Satan, so I can only assume that that's why you did that.
Maybe.
If I hadn't already been an atheist, this job would have convinced me that there's no such thing as a soul.
Fair enough. So is Jim still changing his diaper?
No, he's got.
He got another safety pin.
Right.
He's back.
Oh, my daughter.
Does he have the runs?
Move your Camaro,
Okay.
and my car starts it. You got to put the brake on first, and then push the button.
Yeah.
You've got a Camaro? You should have had me move it. I would have moved it a
see
long way.
You didn't see my beautiful vehicle out there?
Here's the deal. As soon as I turned it on, country started blasting really loud. So any of your further arguments are invalid.
TJ, I don't think we can be friends anymore. I'm sorry.
I am from Texas.
I'm from a Christian private school. I used to be a young Earth creationist. That's no excuse. Deconvert, man. It's okay.
Dusty needs one.
Are we going to continue 1 through 9? Okay, pick another number.
Do another one.
Keep it on like that.
Yep. Pick a number between 14 and 16.
15.2.
15.2. Oh, yes.
Well, based on the last question, that makes sense. There was a 3-part question.
What was the end of it? I missed it.
Is using the term white and or black racist? What about reds and yellows?
It depends on what kind of what quantity you're buying them.
The context, in my opinion, race is mostly a social construct. So if you're referring to it as a social construct, there's no problem because, obviously that's something valid to talk about. But if you're referring to race more in a biological construct, then, even the Anthropological Association of America has come out and said that they don't really think that race is a very valid criteria to classify people in when you're talking about biology. So
biology,
the context.
Is
I didn't think it was talking about race at all. I thought that reds cost more than yellows.
Are you talking about over-the-counter drugs?
He's talking.
Obviously not over the counter.
Under
the
reds,
table.
You just dated yourself because they don't call them reds and yellow jackets anymore. Remember those?
Oh yeah,
they were like uppers and downers,
poppers, and
whatever. No, when I wrote this question, I was alluding to saying whites and blacks in context is always okay, pretty much. But when you like what's the Washington football team?
The Redskins.
How is that different? Like if there was an NFL team, I'm just kind of throwing a little thought experiment out here. If there was an NFL team called the Washington Whiteskins, would that be just as derogatory?
Well, I think the word Redskins though has a historical connotation.
Yeah, good point.
Not just the name of the team, but also their
I don't have a problem with it personally, but
isn't it also the flag of where that team comes from? It was like somebody strangling a Native American.
No,
is that Washington?
Not the team.
DC.
The team. The picture on the helmet on the side of the helmet.
It's just a headdress of a chief.
Headdress. Yeah.
Dusty, you live in what, Mississippi?
I do live in Mississippi, yes.
Heavily minority. Oh, before the show is over, I want you to recount your story. That you're not very prolific anymore. I don't see you much on, or my YouTube settings are jacked up.
I don't try very hard. I don't really do much anymore, to be honest with you. I'm kind of bored with this, to be honest with you.
Well, anyone watching?
Oh, well, fine. Fuck you then.
I'm not bored with you. Just the kind of the scene. The scene has changed so much since I was doing it. It's just become something that I don't really want to be a part of anymore. And so I don't try very hard anymore with it, to be honest with you.
I had 2 channels.
I had Bionic Dance on. I've had Truth Surge on. Now you. So I think I'm almost through all my early YouTube influences.
Yeah.
Of the atheist pioneers.
Cult of Dusty was like one of the first.
He was one of the first one I stumbled on.
Yeah, that I saw.
It became something else. And when it became something else, it just became embarrassing. Like I started being associated with people that I did not want to be associated with. And so I just had to kind of pull away from it.
You still get a lot of mail?
Oh yeah, I get tons of hate. I'm an SJW cuck now. That's all I hear every day of my life is I used to be so cool. What happened to me? But
see, that's the divisiveness. I think our show is slightly unique in the fact that we're the glue that's trying to bring everyone, like when Bionic Dance and Steve McRae had their little spat. Where did they come to try to work it out? Here.
We're definitely not an echo chamber.
We're trying to bring everyone back together because I remember the old days, and that was when we're going after the Hams and the Hovens. What happened to that?
I think money. Yeah. I think not enough people are interested in the atheist versus theist debate anymore. I just
Well, good, because I don't need that much competition, to be honest.
yeah.
You noticed right after the adpocalypse, there was an influx of new atheist YouTubers that knew they were not going to get monetized. It's like this new breed coming up. They know that it's just a hobby to them because they know they can't make money on it anymore. But it was like a huge it was the exact opposite of what you would expect.
When I started doing it, you couldn't make money off it. There was no way to make money off it.
Then you started making money, but then February 2017 hit, March 31st, 2017. Then no one's making money. Then everyone starts coming in.
I'm still.
Well, you got 600-700 patrons. We've got 6 patrons.
Well, Dusty, do you think it's like actually more like people are much more interested in like the political discourse than the the religious stuff? Do you think that's part of it?
Well, yeah, the drama and the outrage merchants, that's what makes the money. And they realize that switching over to the social justice warrior hysteria was the way to make bank. And that's what pretty much everybody did. And that's what everybody still does. And, you know, that to me, that shit's just boring and not important. You know, I can see right through it. I understand exactly what they're doing. They're trying to distract people from the issues because on the issues, they get destroyed. So it's very transparent to me, but to see these people become so popular and you can't really talk to their fan base because they're not really interested in having a debate with you. They just want to act like the biggest pieces of shit they can on the libs. So when you're facing people like that, you know, what are you going to do? You just got to kind of step away from it.
Yeah.
Look behind.
Yeah, I like it. I like the poster behind you.
Yeah. Next time Dusty talks, look behind him. The Texas sharpshooter fallacy. Yeah. I just learned what that was like a week ago. It's basically ignoring the misses and only accepting the hits. Yeah. The Texas sharpshooter fallacy is like if you just take
a form of confirmation bias.
It's confirmation bias. You take some what you think is well-aimed shots at a barn, outside of a barn. Then you go up there and then you draw the targets around where you make them all bullseyes.
Yeah, that's basically what the Jehovah's Witnesses do with their Watchtower website. Is when they're trying to use when they're trying to tie the Bible into science. If you look at their website, a lot of the stuff they say, some of it is actually factually correct, because what they've done is they've said this one thing can be kind of construed to our narrative. Let's do that, and we're just going to ignore everything else. If we don't say it, it didn't happen.
Aaron was just on a 2-hour roundtable with 3 Christians, doctors of apologetics, and we were talking, was Jesus foretold in the Old Testament? You'll be seeing episodes coming out eventually. But spoilers,
if your career is
they were doing that. They were, like I said, there was we were talking about a prophecy that the starting date had to be a certain date, and there's 4 different. The starting date had to be a time when the Temple of Jerusalem had just been destroyed, and the decree to rebuild it was issued. Now, in the Bible, there's 3 times in Ezra and 1 time in Daniel where the decree was issued. Once by King Cyrus and some other Persian king. 4 times the decree was issued, but they want to focus on the one that then they can count the numbers up to where it goes to Jesus. But they forget the other 3. They only go to the one that fits their narrative.
There's no real evidence that Jesus existed to begin with, so kind of falls apart right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even as contemporaries, it's.
I think, Dusty, you're a mythicist, right?
Depends on what you mean by that.
You think Jesus probably never existed?
Yeah.
Do you think it would be possible to get in a time machine and go back and find the historic Jesus?
No, doubtful. I think it's mainly just a myth, just a accumulation of other stories that built up this character behind the religion.
I think you could find the person that the narrative was built off of, but that he definitely wouldn't match the narrative we have today.
The reason that I count myself as a mythicist is because I think that if you had a time machine, you might be able to count one of the 5 people that it was based on, but it's based on a combination of both real and mythical people.
Didn't even Josephus have like 3 different Jesuses running around in his history?
He spoke about 19 Jesuses, and 2 of them are ones that Christians commonly call their own. One of them was Jesus Damnius, which was Jesus. The there was James, who was the brother of Jesus, who the anointed, and they say that's their Jesus, but that's the wrong Jesus. Completely different family history, completely different biology. That was not Jesus of Nazareth character.
Speaking of the biology, isn't it always really strange when you're talking about the genealogy for Jesus?
Yes.
How back then they traced it through the male line, and if you're tracing the genealogy for Jesus through the male line, I'm fairly certain that you're not going to get the right parts in the right places, considering that the male had nothing to do.
Joseph wasn't his real dad.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to trace through Joseph's line, and even your contradictory accounts of Joseph's line, because Matthew and Luke don't agree, but even if they did agree, having the line through Joseph means absolutely nothing, because he had nothing to do with the impregnation of Mary.
This is why you need to still have the Christians in the room when you're having this discussion, so that we can hear their bullshit excuses for how they get around this.
I asked Josh why he was convinced that he thought Luke was written by Luke, and
all three of those guys
totally nailed him on it. Though,
did you?
He didn't.
I'm gonna have to go back.
His first response was, "Oh, I don't know." Okay, just bear in mind this guy's a pastor, right?
That's the
you guys are in for. It's going to be like a 5-part series, and it's going to be just ready for some fireworks. Aaron is in rare form.
No,
so it's gonna
man,
be great.
he was pounding the freaking table.
It was beautiful.
It was like awesome.
I was unusually well behaved.
Okay, we'll go with that.
But yeah.
Okay, Chris.
Who's next?
Aaron is next.
Go ahead, pick
a number between 1 and whatever the fuck.
95.
How about 42 and 44?
I like 86.
In military, what is 86?
Throw it over the side into the ocean.
Well, you're throwing in the wastebasket.
Or yeah,
so throw something away.
I'm thinking of deep six. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
So this is probably up your high. Okay. So in light of the anthropic principle that the universe was fine-tuned for the emergence of life from its very inception, wouldn't it make sense to say that there was an intelligent being who pre-planned human life?
Absolutely not. Otherwise, we have a very piss-poor planner, because he only enabled us to inhabit 1/8 of the surface of this one ball of rock and metal. And we have an intraversible distance between this one and any other speck of dust in the cosmos.
You take into account
and everywhere else in the cosmos will kill us instantly.
So 99.99% of the known universe is uninhabitable.
Add a few more nines.
Yeah, yeah.
It's definitely a shit intelligent designer. I mean, explain cancer. Our body is literally trying to kill us. Like, what the fuck? It's like the worst design ever, dude. Come on.
Have a wonderful, intelligent designer. Look at the evolution of the teeth, and well, oh wait, that doesn't actually work in their favor. Never mind.
Chris, do you know what's the name of that nerve that actually goes, like it goes down into your larynx or whatever?
Are you talking about the one that fucks up the giraffe? You're talking about the one that fucks up the giraffe?
How evolution actually shaped.
It's caught under one of the bones, so as the neck gets longer, it has to keep on stretching, even though it could only go one way if it wasn't procedurally generated the way evolution causes it to happen.
Right. And if that was intelligently designed, that's not a very intelligent design, right? Like,
sadly, this is how I learned evolution. Like, I grew up in Mississippi, I wasn't taught, so I learned from Richard Dawkins, watching his videos for kids. I'm an adult watching these kids' videos of Richard Dawkins. I'm like, oh, okay. Why did they fucking teach me that in school?
I grew up in a young Earth creationist Christian private school.
Too,
I was taught that this is how I was taught evolution from the Abeck book literature. Evolution is a lie. Charles Darwin had a bedside conversion. End of paragraph. Nope. That's it.
Evolution. You're
Let me ask
Dusty.
Let me ask Dusty. What is the current climate as far as what's being taught in the public schools where you're from right now?
I'm so out of the loop. It's been 30 years since I've been in public school here. So,
is there any hubbub going on with any kind of creationist stuff or
I really have. I'm so out of the loop on that here. I imagine it's not that much better, to be honest with you. I mean, we're still the most religious state. We're still the poorest state, which the two things are definitely connected together. And it's
definitely a correlation, but
living around here, people around here definitely don't tend to believe in evolution at all. When I try to explain to them, they're almost like, I didn't come from no monkey, and then I have to explain.
I wasn't a monkey.
Oh my
Well,
God,
then how do you explain why you're still a monkey now?
Anytime somebody says that they didn't come from a monkey, especially if they try citing Ken Ham, I'll just show them a picture of Ken Ham and go, "Look, it's the missing link."
proof of evolution right there.
There's one thing that we in Texas do lead. We do beat you in Mississippi at. It is recidivism. Teen pregnancy. Okay. So teens that have had 2 or more children.
Well, you know,
we do have. In other words, to put it in pronounceable terms, we have the highest rate of repeat teen pregnancy.
There you go. Right, repeat.
Well, I guess I need to get busy. That's what you're saying.
Did you also know that 50% of women that have abortions have had multiple abortions?
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
They're also mostly Christian.
And they are, yes, statistically are. They are mostly evangelicals.
I have a video on Greg Locke with all of the data on that, just like refuting every single thing Greg says.
Yeah, that dude's a pretty despicable human being.
I featured Greg Locke in my video that I just uploaded yesterday.
I need to watch that then. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, man.
Is that Adventure Time on your freaking beer can? Is that what that is?
He's drinking a beer can that has
what is it?
Somebody
I don't know what that is.
Sadomasochistic.
That's like some S&M bondage.
There's some S&M bondage. I don't know why it has S&M bondage and popcorn, or maybe he's
doing
drinking
the popcorn. The popcorn.
Maybe he's drinking from a dog bowl. Maybe that's.
I don't even know what he's doing. Like Jake or Finn, or what's the one? What's the dog? Jake or Finn? I don't know.
I don't know. Is there any Adventure Time? My people.
You're drinking kinky beer.
I'm 40. Sorry.
It's like S&M shit.
By the way, just so you know, a little earlier, Trevin Hudson gave you a super chat saying that he misses Dusty Smith for $10.
Nice.
Love you, Trevor. Thanks, man.
Hell yeah, dude. We're stepping up in the world.
Shout that
shit
out.
Also, Holy Kool-Aid says, "Sup, sluts."
Yeah, I miss you guys too. Sorry, I took like 3 weeks off to play with kittens. Like literally, I was like, I want to play with kittens for 3 weeks, so that's what I did.
Look at him up close.
I know, right? I'm so envious. I want to get back there with mine.
Oh yeah, he's got a little hanger on.
No, let him say something.
I also have this one too.
He's so cute.
Oh, I can eat that up, and I mean literally like a tortilla.
Like in a.
How do you debone something like that, though?
It makes
very
it
carefully.
Dusty, this is a good chance to talk about that animal rehabilitation thing you're doing.
Well, okay. When I was moving in Denver, everybody thought I was a dick, kind of. Everybody was like, "You're such a douche now that you live in Denver," and it's like, and I guess I can kind of see the point because all I was doing was like partying every day and kind of like wearing suits and dating young women, and everybody thought I was a douche, and I kind of felt bad about my life, and I was like, "Well, I can do better. I can do better." So I moved back to Mississippi, and I opened an animal sanctuary. I call it the Humanist Society of Mississippi Animal Sanctuary. And basically, we go around and we rescue animals around here that are at risk of being put down. And so I bought a giant house. All the rooms filled with
got a lot of
animals
going on.
Yeah, it's not me. I got headphones off.
It's definitely Jim.
So let us know what's the website for that. So
did you say there's some feedback? Are we getting some feedback?
There was. It's better now.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like we're having it now.
Sorry.
Well, you can just like go to my Patreon, patreon.com/Dusty. Pretty much everything I make on all my videos now goes to my animal sanctuary. Like I don't really take a salary anymore. I just put everything I make in my videos to the animal sanctuary, and we basically go out and we, rescue all the animals that need it and try to spread humanism around Mississippi, which I think is the place that needs it the most because it's the most religious place. There's really nobody around here trying to spread humanism. So I figured I'd come here and try to spread humanism by doing good deeds. One of the best deeds I could think of was.
I had to wonder why nobody ever invited me to come speak in either Mississippi or Alabama.
Yeah, it's not much of a mystery.
Mississippi.
Also, we have a question in the chat. Holy Kool-Aid has a question for Dusty Smith. How familiar are you with the new wave of atheist and skeptic YouTubers, the one that Jim was mentioning earlier that happened after the apocalypse?
It depends on which ones you mean. The new wave.
So, like, I think he's referring to people like Godless Cranium, me, Genetically Modified Skeptic, Godless Island, Godless Engineer.
Okay, yeah, I'm more familiar with those. They're definitely better than like the last generation of skeptics that came up that basically decided to, not you, of course.
You know,
old school guys. You're like me. You're like with old school guys. And there's a new generation after us that came up, and they were like, "Hey, let's just make fun of liberals for a living." You know, that was their whole shtick. Let's do it in the name of skepticism.
But
yeah, that's why.
Atheist is unstoppable. There's some atheists that just do the politics.
Yeah.
Sargon, AIU. There's others.
And I get
criticized.
I get criticized for politics even though I know.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a ton of them, and that's their whole shtick. Is just shit on liberals and pretend they're liberals themselves.
Well, some of the things that they're talking about are correct, though.
Yeah, but they blow it out of proportion, basically. What they do, they go out and they find the minutia on the left, the absolute worst actors, and they blow it out of proportion and pretend like these people are much more of a problem than they actually are. Like our biggest problems in this country is not blue-haired college kids. You know, it's the fact that Republicans are giving $1.5 trillion in tax cuts to billionaires, and you know they're cutting our health care, and they're cutting our social safety net, and they're cutting our environmental reforms, and they're cutting stipulations that will keep Wall Street from, you know, doing exactly the same thing they did before.
Particularly all of the regulations that was preventing predatory lending, and they're taking away all of the regulations that was protecting our national parks and our national resources. And actually, wolves just came off the endangered species list a year ago, and Trump made it legal to not only hunt wolf, but anybody of any age and for any reason can, in any way at all, kill wolves by any means necessary, whether it's a cyclone fencing or wire traps or bear traps or throwing dynamite into wolf dens.
You're shitting
to kill the cubs. I'm not even kidding. And we can do that for bears too.
I mean, this is the same guy that
doesn't give a flying fuck about any kind of wildlife at all.
This is the same guy that basically tried to fight for asbestos to come back into modern proliferation. So of course he's going to be self-destructive and stupid.
And he wants to bring back fucking coal mines, which we know will never be profitable again. So if he wanted to bring back jobs,
clean coal. It's so clean though.
Clean coal.
That exists. It's a real
in the
thing.
short term, it could be profitable. It's just that I think on average,
He doesn't have that many years left. It's only short-term thinking he's got.
Yeah, he obviously in his 70s can't see beyond his own lifetime.
Or doesn't give a shit.
Can't see beyond his own term.
If you ever watch any old tape of him in his 40s, he was actually articulate. He could actually get a coherent thought across. But now do we not see that? I mean, 25th Amendment. We joke about it.
Shit wrong with the guy.
We need to.
But the problem is it doesn't matter how batshit crazy he is. If he is going to take all the blame, allow the GOP to do everything they want to do without any accountability because he's the one taking all the fire for it, they're going to keep him in place. And he doesn't even know that he's being set up as this patsy because he's too fucking stupid.
Just riding the red wave.
Anytime somebody asks me what issues I have with Trump, I'm just like, have you looked at his Twitter lately? If somebody's going to say things like that unfiltered, then I can only assume that is their personality. And if that is, I was at Standing Rock, and I was frustrated at Obama because I knew that Obama was invested in that pipeline, and so was Hillary, and so was Trump. But after months of this hushed protest, because there was CNN was not there, MSNBC was not there. There was no mainstream reporters there. Period. Right? There was like one reporter for Democracy Now, and she was arrested and charged with 45-year felony for reporting the news.
Dude.
And she, man up on this. She went and faced the charges. She went back to North Dakota to face those charges and beat those charges. But the thing is, Obama finally, when the last day we were there, we left, Obama finally did the right thing. He allowed the Army Corps of Engineers to declare that this pipeline is not safe and it will rupture, definitely for certain, and it'll poison everybody's water supply. We can't do this. So he pulled. and that was the best thing he could do. And Obama did it late. And I'm not a huge fan of Obama, but he did the right thing at that moment. But then Trump got elected and reversed everything. And not only did he reinitiate the pipeline, fuck what the Army Corps of Engineers said, and it did rupture and it did poison everybody's water supply, and nobody heard about it on the news because it's all still hushed. But the thing is that what Trump did was make it illegal for us to exercise our First Amendment right to peacefully protest a commercial venture.
How do you do that?
By executive order.
Okay.
So it's exactly like Animal Farm. You have these list of rights, and then you start putting in amendments that minimize or diminish those executive rights.
You remember Trump's tweets before he became president about abuse of executive orders? Do we remember this?
What I'm asking is, how do you make an executive order that's legitimately in contradiction to the First Amendment?
How did they do it the first time?
States of America.
The first time they
isn't
did it.
That what isn't that specifically what the First Amendment
The first
enumerates?
time
Is that government shall make no law
That's what it's supposed to do, but it doesn't.
So how did that? So it couldn't be enforced. So in other words, it couldn't be enforced, though, right?
No, you can, because you have to have people.
It's unconstitutional.
You have to have people defending this. And in the 1800s in California, they made it illegal. 200 state legislators made it illegal to hire a Chinaman. That was the law.
A Chinaman.
That's the way that it was said in the 1800s. Okay, so if you're a Chinese immigrant, it's illegal for an American citizen to hire you. 200 state legislators didn't realize how unconstitutional that was.
Let me ask you, do you think that's actually been enforced?
It had to be repealed because
how many
eventually
Chinese people are employed in the United States of America.
Eventually, somebody came forth and said, hey, this is unconstitutional. But the problem is 200 state legislators passed that. Yeah. That law passed. And nobody recognized that it was unconstitutional.
Yeah, that is bullshit.
So this is the problem. The first thing they did was to make it illegal to had to peaceably protest if there's a government official there. Even if you don't know that there's a government official there, you can still be penalized as a felony if there's a government official there and you didn't know it.
So if you get court on that, couldn't you get a constitutional lawyer and have that thrown out?
Hopefully.
If somebody's wanting to find the problem,
people still passed that law. So the state of North Dakota, while Standing Rock was going on, the state of North Dakota became the first state in the country to allow weaponized drones against its own people. While we were there, they were crop dusting the Sioux tribe with poison from biplanes.
What do you mean own people? Who?
North Dakota citizens. North Dakota authorized the use of weaponized drones against their own fucking people.
So we would call it an extraordinary claim. Where's the evidence?
How did I not know this?
Because nobody knows it. Because it never made any news. So there were no reporters up there.
So TJ, there's a few things that I would say on that.
I went up there as a representative of the press. I went up there with a press badge, and I was told right away that doesn't mean a fucking thing. That you'll get arrested anyway, and it's true.
Well, because that's bullshit too. Then.
Well, yeah, the woman from Democracy Now, their lead
the press shall not be abridged.
The leading reporter for Democracy Now was arrested and charged with a 45-year felony, and she wasn't the only one. There was another one that was facing the same charge, 45 years in prison for reporting the news. What was going on in Standing Rock was the worst thing I'd ever seen in American history, and nobody knew about it.
It doesn't sound very
Of course it doesn't.
I'm naive. I had no idea.
Of course it doesn't. You had to be there because you weren't going to find out about it otherwise.
Crazy. Dusty, here we go. Hit him.
Oh, we're going to have Dusty.
Are you up?
He's just sitting back laughing.
Sorry, Dusty.
It says Dusty Smith in the goddamn title. We got to get some Dusty Smith in here, bitch. Let's do it.
Yeah, we'll double up on that. Hit us with a number between 1 and 95.
94.
That's pretty good.
I think it might have been done already. If it looks familiar, go to another one.
Hold on.
Your choice has been overridden.
God damn it.
Your choice is invalid.
86. Why does it stop at 86?
It doesn't.
Oh, is it on the back?
No.
You didn't print them all.
You print them all.
Give me that shit.
I'm 43. I'm 43.
No,
43.
No,
Can you
no,
get 43?
no, I'm on a mission now. I gotta find 94.
It's not in there. 86 is where
You've
it's
only got 6 pages.
So
not my fault.
I don't. What?
We am real professional
Fucked everything
YouTubers.
up.
All right, 1 to 90 then. Damn it.
43.
What?
43.
Make it an easy one. Don't be a softball.
No, it's
not an easy one.
If a rape allegation is proven to be false in a court of law, should the penalty for a false allegation be less than, equal to, or more than a actual rape sentence?
Equal to.
Yeah, that should be a stiff penalty for false rape claims. I don't know if it should be equal to. I don't know if falsely claiming somebody raped you is as bad as being raped, but it should be a very stiff penalty, no doubt about it.
I would think just to you know.
I mean, you've ruined a guy's life. I mean
Yeah,
you've ruined a man's life at that
You
point.
should not make
rape
a
somebody,
false
though.
accusation and
No,
be
you
able to get off.
No, you should. You should pay a very stiff penalty. Whether it should be exactly the same, I'd have to think about
Yeah,
it.
I don't know. I don't know, but it should definitely be something that reflects the amount of damage that you've done to another human life.
Yeah, you should do severe jail time, and they should make an example out of you. A severe example out of your ass.
You're in Texas. If we were to do paper ballots, which is one of the things I've been advocating for, but they won't fucking do because Texas is fucking stupid. If they would do paper ballots, I was told that the reason that they can't is because somebody can just throw away paper ballots. But isn't that a huge fucking fine?
So,
Yes, that's a $10,000 or 10 years in
Isn't
prison.
that yeah?
Don't mess with Texas.
Well, why the
Not
fuck?
just the littering thing. I thought it had something to do with the fact that it was a official government documentation.
Exactly.
Something like that.
Right. You're interfering with the voting process. So
Yeah.
you face a felony conviction over that shit.
so there's
Sir, what do you think? A false rape accusation, should it be equal to the actual rape sentence?
I would say, honestly, it should probably be equal. And my reasoning behind that is that
I don't care about that. Just notify the courts and have them change the law.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Go ahead, man.
One of the reasons behind that is that if you are raped, it changes you for life, right? If you are a victim, you are changed for life. If you are victimized and you are not an assailant, that also changes you for life. It affects the jobs you're able to have. It affects what your family thinks of you. It affects your ability to even have relationships. And oh, by the way, a funny thing happening in my own my own state of Georgia. There's a town in Georgia right now that is trying to see if they can hold all registered sex offenders at City Hall for 3 hours on Halloween night in order to protect the children. This is not just people who are registered as pedophiles. This is any sexual predator of any kind. And if somebody is falsely accused, and there's during the interim where, they've served their time, they come out, they have not been, these charges have not been left off of them. They've just had to deal with it. They are going to be subjected to that. This is in Grovetown, Georgia, for anybody who wants to look this up, by the way. But because stuff like that, say that your life gets ruined and you did nothing, and yet you're having to be corralled into a little camp for 3 hours on Halloween. It's dehumanizing.
That almost feels like a circumventing of the presumption of innocence to me.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
I read the same article you did about how they're rounding up the sex offenders and trying to keep them off the streets on Halloween. That seems like bullshit to me.
Yeah. It's dumb.
I don't know if I disagree with the people that have been convicted.
Well, that's the thing, is that there have been people that have been convicted. There have been people who've been convicted and served 30 years of time, and then afterwards, the person who said that they did the thing came out and said, actually, no, I lied about it. I can't live with the fact that I'm hurting this person anymore.
Well, actually, it's more than that.
After 30 fucking years, you can't live with it anymore.
I mean, it's more than that though, because it's once you've paid your debt to society. If you've paid for your crime,
what if you didn't know it then?
You know what I mean?
Doesn't society owe you after that point?
Ooh, that's good.
How much does society owe you?
I don't know.
Yeah, at that point,
you've for something you
actually you've taken part.
Deep, man. That gets on some
different muddy.
I don't think society owes you anything. They've already been paying your way for 30 years.
No, not really. Okay, so think about it. If you're in prison, you're being paid for
I think the police department owes the family of Tamir Rice a hell of a lot as well.
Like for instance, if you're in prison, you're getting food and shelter, and that's like very bottom on the Maslow's hierarchy.
Food and shelter?
That's all you'd be getting in prison, pretty much. So they've not been paying your way for 30 years.
Shelter from being anally raped?
Shelter from rain, that's about it.
Every damn day?
Like, I honestly, TJ, saying that they've already been paying your way for 30 years, I hope you meant it in jest.
Well, I mean, isn't that correct though?
No, it's not. We just described why
they've been paying their own way.
Okay,
wait,
so if
they've been paying their own way,
hold on. Listen to me. Yeah, listen to me, TJ.
Yeah, they put themselves through prison.
TJ, listen to me. Let's say that you are falsely accused. Okay, you're falsely accused.
Oh,
you have
30... okay, that's totally different.
No, it's not. Listen to me.
Okay.
Let's say you're accused. You're falsely accused. And you have 30 years in prison. You come out of the prison system because somebody says, actually, they falsely accused you. You are now coming out. Mm-hmm. Nobody was paying your way. Taxpayers were paying for you to have food and shelter. But
yeah, that's what I meant. So don't make it something else that I didn't say.
I'm not making it something else. I'm making it exactly what you said. You're turning yourself into a straw man. What you said was that people have already been paying your way. You are ignoring all of the nuance that is in this actual situation, because in this situation you were not given a 30-year free ride. You had 30 years of your life taken away. 30 years of your life were removed. 30 years of your ability to interact in society was removed. 30 years of society progress technologically.
And what we had established, though, was that we were talking about when someone was falsely accused.
I think you guys are talking past it. I think
we're talking past each other, because I was talking about somebody who actually deserved to serve the time that they served.
I think you both agree. You're just talking past each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Don't try that shit.
I'm not trying anything. It's not a trying something if I legitimately think you said one thing. It's trying something if I'm legitimately trying to undermine your position.
We weren't on the same page there.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'll be breaking rocks in Leavenworth. Okay, Dusty just did. Let me do you, TJ, and then everyone else can chime in.
Are you at least going to use lube?
1 to 90.
Do me.
1 to 90. I'm not Martin Luther anymore because I don't have 95.
71. 69 with 2 fingers in
your hand. The shocker.
The shocker, yeah.
All right. If you were given a PhD degree, but had a friend of mine just sent some stripper pics. I got some great friends. Oh, he just sent some more. Okay. If you were given a PhD degree right now, but had no more knowledge of the subject of the degree besides what you have now, what degree would you want them to give you and why? So based on what you know, if you could get a PhD in it, what would you like to have a PhD in right now?
Shit. I don't think it would be anything legit. It'd be like gaming or something like that.
Mine would be New Testament apologetics.
New Testament apologetics.
Or internet porn.
I would have to say, like game theory.
Ooh.
Are you talking about game design theory or like military game theory?
Game theory is
I think, yeah. I mean, I don't, yeah. It wouldn't be the super technical one.
Dusty, what would your PhD?
Although I do understand.
I wouldn't want a PhD in anything I didn't earn, because then I would,
But if someone was to bestow upon you a PhD right now, based on what is your highest level of expertise?
Oh God, how to sleep 18 hours a day, how to smoke copious amounts of weed. I don't know, nothing important, nothing I'd want to like have a PhD for. I'd be embarrassed. I'm not an expert on anything. Like Google, I'm really good at Google. Can Google all kinds of shit. Give me a PhD in that.
How about a ubiquitous YouTube? How about public speaking?
I'm not even good at that. I mean, I'm okay at making like silly YouTube videos in my underwear, so I can edit. I can edit a lot of shit together to make it seem like I know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's about as good as I can do. But
Dance did a video naked.
I gotta ask a serious question of Dusty though. So what percentage, like based on percentage, what percentage of the videos that you made where we could only see you from the neck up were you actually naked in?
I mean, 90% of my videos were done in my underwear. Like you can't see below my waist for a reason. Like I'm just in my underwear being goofy, and like people take me too seriously. It's like
I've always suspected exactly the same thing of Nephilim Free.
That motherfucker. Oh God.
That guy wears a fucking tinfoil hat on his dick.
Skid mark whitey tighties. That's what I picture him in.
Yeah, at least I'm wearing underwear. He's probably wearing nothing.
Cyrus, what would your PhD be in if they gave you one right now?
If they gave me one right now, I would go ahead and choose the most useless PhD I can think of: Nintendo apologetics.
Nintendo apologetics.
Oren, now this leads me to a great
side
topic, because you are an autodidact, kind of like myself. You have no formal, although you are the lead in the Phylogeny Explorer project, you speak at college campuses where they're going to give you money to fund this project. You have no formal postgraduate degree, correct? Same as me. I've written 2 books on it. Do you find it hard, to gain credibility of like Dr. Richard Carrier? He's okay.
Well, he's putting in the work for that.
I find it funny that scientists, actual scientists, seem to embrace me. Actual scientists don't have a problem with me at all. It's only the religious apologists that have a problem with my not having any credentials.
Well, most PhDs aren't.
It's a way to attack you. It's a way to attack you.
Exactly.
But I say it's the same reason why freaking Georgia has a PhD in biology. It's just to weaponize the damn thing.
Yeah, if somebody were to give me an honorary doctorate, I would hope that it would be in zoology.
Yeah,
nice. That's about right.
I think that too.
What did you call earlier today? A doctorate in apologetics?
Doctor in fairyology, or
what did he call it?
Leprechaunism,
or toilet paperology?
Toilet paper.
No, I said a doctorate in Mother Goose.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, Aesop's fables or some shit.
Yeah. So it's basically worthless. Okay, we are back around to Aaron or Dusty.
You go ahead.
Do me one.
Dusty's the guest.
Okay, let's do Dusty.
Dusty again.
All right.
Gotcha.
1 to 90.
1 to 90.
Is Thomas Westbrook really watching right now?
Well, yeah.
Holy shit. Holy Kool-Aid shit.
Holy Kool-Aid shit.
66.
66.
How many times have you been struck by lightning? 6? No. 60. If you can name that movie in the live chat, you win.
You win at least one internet.
At least yeah. All right, Dusty. What's your favorite YouTube video of all time? Not your own.
Oh God. Oh, that's a hard one.
While you're thinking, I'll tell you mine. 43 Alley on the 10 Commandments.
Yeah.
43 Alley does a fucking tits. It is the tits. It is a concise 10-minute, just a takedown of the 10 Commandments. And go watch it. 43 Alley. In fact, leave my channel right now. Your shit's good. This was my 43 Alley.
Let's let Dusty.
He's still around.
My answer's going to be so lame compared to this. I think my favorite video of all time is probably the video "Runaway" by Kanye West. I don't like his political beliefs at all. I think he's a fucking moron. But I think "Runaway" is probably my favorite song of all time. And
I understand what you mean. I sometimes watch these videos about this one Asian girl who just dances in skippy outfits, and I'm as entertained as a cat looking at a bird in a cage.
Hey, cat videos.
Thank you for your candor.
That's a pretty popular category too. Cat videos. Everybody loves cat videos. Right?
That's why I've been bringing kittens into this. It's trying to get.
Yeah. Right? Yep.
Well, the video
All right.
Runaway has a bunch of ballet dancers in it, and I never really got ballet. So I watched that video, and then I watched that video, and I like teared up like a little kid for some reason because I thought the ballet they were doing in that video was so beautiful and artistic. It really struck a chord with me. So
really ironic that the problem that people have with Kanye is his political beliefs and not his shitty music. But
the cool part about that 43 Alley video on the Ten Commandments is he breaks it down from Exodus like 19 to 34, and he shows why the Ten Commandments that they display in the public courthouses are not the right ones. And it is fucking tight.
Because there's a difference between the Decalogue and the actual
he breaks it down. The ones that those were not spoken.
Yeah.
We have to agree that they were spoken, they were written down, and they were delivered by God, by Yahweh, right? What was it, Chris?
What?
I think Aaron has a similar video called "The Damn Commandments."
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, I made a video on the Ten Commandments as well.
It's okay, but this one, the actual Ten Commandments.
But this one, yeah, fuck Aaron.
Fuck you,
fuck the guy who's here.
I'm just saying, is it similar to this one where he said? The real Ten Commandments has the Feast of Weeks and eating blood with leavened bread. Yes.
The
Don't boil a baby.
Yes. Bring your own firstborn child unto me to be sacrificed. And the 10th commandment is and this is in Exodus 34. Thou shalt not boil a baby goat
in its mother's milk.
Yeah.
See, even Soros knew it.
Yeah.
Now, why
don't seen both 43 Alleys and Aaron's videos on it? Of course, I know it.
I want to change my answer. No more Kanye. I want to go with this video. Even if I haven't seen this video, I'm going to go with this video.
Yeah.
We're just going to go with 43 Alley. Maybe we can get him back on YouTube.
It's Aaron's turn. So.
Okay. Aaron, not 190.
76.
76. Oh, this is I get a little preface to this. This is from Norman Geisler's book, Conversational Evangelism. So this is a question from Norman Geisler. Would you agree that nothing cannot produce something? If so, then if the universe did not exist, but then came to exist, wouldn't this be evidence of a cause beyond the universe?
What is a quantum particle?
Want me to read that again?
No.
He understands.
Okay. Yeah, only creationists believe that anything came from nothing. Not even Lawrence Krauss believes that anything came from an absolute philosophical
ex nihilo.
Yeah, ex nihilo, absolute nothing.
I think he has at least 7 different definitions for nothing that aren't ex nihilo.
It's a virtual particles, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, and the way that I look at it is that wherever our universe came from, I view the origin of our universe, or the singularity rather, as an inflation of space-time that was coming in from another, say, 4th dimensional plane, where you have a 4th dimensional space moving through 3-dimensional space-time, which inflates a 3-dimensional universe with 4th dimensional space. So it would just be like if you were as a 3-dimensional object, you're going to pass through a plane of 2-dimensional space, and you would appear as a single point in space, seemingly out of nothing, and then you would inflate to this large, the entirety of your width, and disappear into nothingness again. It would look like you came from nothing, but you didn't actually come from nothing.
What's your stance on the proposition that possibly the universe never came into existence, that it always just simply existed?
In a sense, everything is eternal, even in this universe, because it came from a prior form in a prior universe. And another way to look at this is this is a completely different matter. It's a completely separate concept. If you have all of space-time compressed into the singularity, then we understand that time slows down with super excessive gravity. So if you have the entirety of gravity for all of space-time in the singularity, as you will, then space-time comes to a halt, so that the time slows down to the point that 1 second equals infinity when t equals 0.
Yeah, it has to do with this. Yeah, the objects approaching the speed of light. Yeah.
It both has a beginning and is eternal at the same time.
Yeah.
You want to know how I argue it? Tell me where my fallacy is.
Right there.
When they say something cannot come from nothing, I say, when have we ever observed or nothing? Right, exactly. The singularity at t equals 0 is something. It is the singularity. It is every atom compressed, right?
Yeah.
There is no before that because that would be illogical. Because
we've never observed a nothing before, and there's no equation we have that includes the nothing.
Nothing, because everything came from something, and that
But
something
the argument
is
is
T equals 0.
If something can't come from nothing, and so you say, but then why do you believe that it did? And at some point, the creationists will have to admit that they believe something came from nothing for the special pleading fallacy that God can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, they're saying that all the rules of causation apply except to their God.
Don't make me go Kent Hovind on you. Don't you understand that God exists outside of time and space?
Okay, you can't go Kent Hovind without saying God. You can't go Kent Hovind without saying water in his stupid, inane way.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to say water. Water.
Yeah, I just did a voiceover for somebody who was doing a video about Kent Hovind for some kind of cartoon.
It's a Prophet of Zod.
They asked me to do the voice for it.
Yeah, it was a Prophet of Zod.
Choice.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. I've been voice actor for one of his videos before, and I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the video that came out of it. He's got very good writing for his videos.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have to run shortly because I've been here all damn day. So, put your diaper back on. Get over here, so
wrap that shit up.
He broke the seal. That's the problem.
No shit.
He fucking broke the seal.
Yep. Okay. Oh, you gotta go?
I'm going to run. Yeah.
You're going to go? Well, we've been really fortunate to
No, let's keep it going, Dusty. You're not going anywhere, though.
No, I'm just for Aaron. Aaron is going to go.
But we're
going to continue. Yeah, we're going to continue the conversation here. We're going to keep talking as long as Dusty wants to talk with us. And Aaron's going to get out of here.
13 hours of recording, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
You'll be seeing them on our channel. It's going to be coming out every 3 days. Don't worry.
Good to see you, man. Again.
Come out slowly.
Long time.
All right.
Me and Aaron hung out before at one of the Atheist conventions. He was really cool.
Last time he came to our show, it was in the rain, and he was riding his. Is it a Harley Davidson? Aaron, what do you drive?
He's in the bathroom.
He was riding his motorbike in the rain. He's a trooper, man. If you ask him, he'll come. That's the hardest working man in atheism, right there.
I say he came on my show right after the freaking art protest. Like, he had to pull his camera out of his bag to make it onto my show when he got home.
He just basically got off the plane from Finland, from Iceland, in London. It's crazy. And guess who's going to be sleeping on his couch November 11th through 13th?
Richard Carrier is going to be in the studio. We're going to record some stuff with Dr. Carrier.
Hells yeah! All right, where are we?
Ask about all the sex stuff.
Yeah, we already did. We already did
sex stuff.
The sexy
time. Why are you a sex pest, Richard Carrier?
You know what?
Alone.
We don't throw him softballs. We hit him with the hard questions last time, and he handled them like a champ. So
I thought he did really well against Sargon, for what it's worth.
That wasn't a debate. That was a discussion because Sargon ended up agreeing with him on everything. Well, right? What do you think about that, Dusty?
Like I said, I think he did real well. Sargon, was out of his depth. I think Richard Carrier ate him for lunch. Not that I'm sure that. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it, because he's got such a bad reputation as a sex pest. I'm not sure he's the best person to represent at this point the SJW constituency or whatever you want to call it, but he did a great job. So what can you say? Proof's in the pudding.
That's it. I mean, he's a human being. He's been subjected to some of the same hardships as the rest of us have. So, I mean, it's not like he's any less qualified to talk about things. But,
if you have a reputation of being a sex pest, then there are some people, especially the feminist types, who don't want you to really represent their side because they don't think that you're really, qualified to speak on these issues in a correct manner. And you can that too. But at the same time, I don't have a problem with it. I think he did a good job. So
he's a smart guy. He knows his shit.
I met him. Yeah, he's a very smart guy for sure. He's a nice guy too.
Our other host, Courtney, had a one-on-one with a Planned Parenthood. You'll see it on our channel in the next month or so. But they started bashing Ben Shapiro, right? You weren't here for it yet. And there was
Ben Shapiro does have some pretty
this is
shitty
where
views
we
on
kind
some
of
things, but
no, even among our hosts of our own channel, we kind of part ways because there's, hey, you guys think, Chris especially, I think you might be the farthest left here. Is there anything that Ben Shapiro says that maybe rings true?
There are a few things that I've heard from him that ring true, but the way he argues is really weird and I don't like it. He likes to say that his platform is facts over feelings, but at the same time, he'll argue from emotion day in, day out repeatedly. Usually within a few breaths of stating that. And that's the only thing that I find it very disingenuous. And when you have a disingenuous approach, I tend to dismiss most of what you say, even if it might be correct.
That's a valid point, right?
He's got some things right, and he's got other things.
I even think.
That's what I want to hear.
No, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to say even Richard Spencer or Milo Yiannopoulos maybe has a couple things right. It maybe inadvertently, maybe unconsciously.
Milo's got more stuff right, probably
right twice a day.
True, but you know what? We can't discount them. We can't automatically assume that the Ben Shapiro's of the world are just racists that are anti. You have to.
That would be a genetic fallacy. That would be a full-on genetic fallacy if we did. You still have to take what they're saying and analyze it. You can't just say, "Oh, Ben Shapiro's talking," ignore it because it's Ben Shapiro. You still have to take his argument. But the thing is that's why I disagree with his method more than anything.
Right. Next, I think Dusty's up. 1 to 90, Dusty.
2.
I think that's probably been done too, but we'll see.
I just realized that's a logical fallacy.
Ooh, this has not been done yet. Ready? This is a good one. How did you get started as an atheist educator, activist, speaker, or content creator?
Oh God.
What got you started? What was the spark that got you going?
Okay, well, as many people know, I grew up in the Pentecostal church, and like I was the leader of my youth group, and I was like training to be a preacher and stuff. And I had a best friend named Steven who I met at church, and he started watching the Science Channel, started believing in evolution and bullshit like that, evil science. And I was like, I'm gonna set out and prove him wrong. And so I set out to prove him wrong, and I became an atheist myself, trying to prove him wrong. And then one day I saw the Amazing Atheist on YouTube doing his thing, and I was like, oh my God, if this guy can do this, I can do this. So that's what happened. I just basically started doing it, and it kind of took off from there.
So
I'm not qualified at all. I'm just entertaining.
Yeah, of course. I just just to get away from a little bit from the script a little bit. I just want to kind of so did you take a lot of so when you realized that was something that was important to you, and then it was something that you wanted to talk about, content that you wanted to create, and things that you wanted to get there in the ether, as it were. Did you take a lot of shit from people in your life?
I'm still taking.
You're still taking. So
Mississippi, man.
No, I mean I get that. So give us one juicy story about a problem that it created for some conflict that it created.
I made a lot of videos. I made a few videos about this. Like one of the videos I made was called "My Favorite Aunt Sent Me a Nasty Email," which is when I first got started being an atheist speaker on YouTube. My favorite aunt sent me an email, basically told me I was a disappointment to the entire family, that I was just a fame whore, and I was a wannabe, and I was just totally embarrassing. And then my other favorite aunt sent me another nasty email, basically reiterating that entire thing.
Yeah.
Like I've had so many, I had to go into hiding for 2 years. Like I bought an RV and I moved from state to state for 2 years after my video on Islam went viral. And I had also Christians that from hometown telling me that they were friends with a lot of cops, and if I ever came back to my hometown, I was gonna be arrested or killed. And so I received so many threats that I had to go to hiding for a while. So I've had a lot of misadventures doing this.
Hey,
I don't do it as much as I used to.
Follow on question: as a YouTube creator, what word would you never put in your title if you want to get your actual video monetized?
I don't. Can I say it now? The N word would be one that you don't want to say. I would think. Don't say that one. But any word I use, all my videos are automatically demonetized. So like I'm on some kind of list, I guess. Oh yeah, immediately. If I try to monetize them, they immediately say, like in 1 second, you're not allowed to be monetized anymore.
Wow. About what, 50%, 40% of ours are demonetized automatically. Yeah. So if you say, so from our experience, if you say Islam or rape, even in rape culture or Islam, not talking about the actual Muslims people, but talking about Islam as an ideology, it still gets demonetized.
If you say the word Islam or the word rape, those are the two biggest ones.
And I have videos that say both of those words constantly that aren't demonetized.
Maybe because you're not as
the content could be the
algorithm, or you're not as prolific. They haven't gotten on your radar. You haven't gotten on their radar yet.
See, the thing is that like between our two channels, we have a close number of subscribers. You're sitting in the mid 3,000s. I'm in the mid 4,000s.
You motherfucker! I remember when you were 300.
I remember when I was there too.
Seriously, that far ahead of me right now?
Yeah, I'm at 4.5.
We're slacking.
Hey, we're about to do 5 Arn Raw videos though, bitch. So
yeah, I know. That's been your ace in the hole every time I get ahead of you. But
hey,
but I'm not saying that as a method of bragging. I'm just saying that we occupy the same space as far as our reach goes. Right now, we occupy about the same space. That's why it seems strange to me that your videos would be demonetized for some of the stuff that my videos that are monetized do in fact talk about.
Are you saying that if you put the word rape in your video or Islam, that it would not get demonetized right now immediately?
Hold on. Actually, you know what? Let's make this real easy. I'm going to go to my analytics right now.
Okay.
I actually have a video
while you're doing that, I'm going to do some background music. Da, 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 da. Let's do TJ while he's reviewing his analytics. 1 to 90.
13.
I think that might have been done already.
12.
Oh no, it has not. This is a good one.
Okay.
Are law enforcement officials more racist than the general public? And why, if so?
I haven't.
Is there something about being in law enforcement that makes you more racist? Do they racist people gravitate to law enforcement professions?
The time to believe a thing is when it's been demonstrated to be true, and haven't seen evidence to demonstrate that that's true. So I would say no. I don't believe. I don't believe.
Is it the same?
I would say law enforcement comes from the population, so
yeah. So it should. I think it's
a mirror. It's a mirror.
I think it's a representation of the population.
It's a mirror. So do you think there's institutional, or systematic targeting of minorities within law enforcement?
I think yes, but I don't necessarily. You have to look at it from a multivariate sort of analysis.
Yep.
And I don't think it's necessarily from a racist standpoint. It's not necessarily the disparity is not due specifically or solely to racism. Cops know that there are certain areas or neighborhoods that are
high crime.
They're high crime neighborhoods, right?
Just say it.
Yeah. So they know. So they know. Hey, if I want to get my numbers up, or if I want to go actually like try to,
you go to the crime
areas. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the area where I know that there's a lot of crime.
Why is crime in the minority sectors?
I think it's socioeconomic.
It's economic. It's income level. No matter what color your melanin, no matter how much melanin you have in your skin. If your income is low, you are more statistically likely to commit crimes.
Right. And if you look at it, I mean, black people are only like 5 or 6 generations out of slavery. So I mean, they're not gonna be at the same. They're not gonna be at the same level as everybody else.
We solved the race problem. Thank you. Good night.
With that said,
go ahead.
That said, as far as the videos are concerned, so I've done 2 videos so far on the new independent Fundamental Baptist Church, and both of those videos actually contains the word rape multiple times, both from me and from the people I'm responding to. These people are Matt Powell, Steven Anderson, people who are very, very vulgar and have gotten channels striked. Skylar Fiction got striked having Matt Powell on. Funnily enough, my video addressing the strike was demonetized, but every video that I've done where I've addressed rape, not demonetized. Every single one of them is sitting in, and they haven't even required manual review. They just haven't been demonetized. My videos that have been demonetized, my last podcast was demonetized as not suitable for most advertisers, and all that was talking about was interfaith efforts. My rant was demonetized, but that has probably at least the F-bomb in it about 130 times, maybe.
You think that's a factor?
That's probably a factor in that one. Past
why would
that,
that be? Because every channel on earth says fuck.
yes, but the amount that I say it in that video, like
Some people don't. Some people bleep that shit out.
Fuck
like
shit.
in that video, I was very vulgar. Like it far over and above what I would normally be vulgar, and that one was demonetized. After that, the only other video that I have demonetized is the one where Cardinal Burke of the Catholic Church was comparing homosexuality to pedophilia, and that one was demonetized, but I had pedophilia in the title, so of course it was demonetized.
Wow. So, right? Oh, why?
My question is though,
I want to get to the bottom of this algorithm.
Hey, Dusty, do you think it like could be something have to do with the fact that certain creators or certain channels are like the algorithm will actually look at more words or farther into the log or something like that?
Now,
Like,
I've heard that if you don't say a curse word, I don't believe any words are curse words, but if a curse word is not said in the first 17 or 18 minutes of the video, that you're good. After that, the algorithm doesn't even check yet.
Yeah, it
only
won't go
checks
so
the
far in
first
logs.
18 minutes.
It won't go past a certain point in the law in the transcript or whatever.
We're way beyond 18 minutes right now, so
it's possible. I think I've been blacklisted. Like I have a video where I went to the pound and I rescued the dog that had been at the pound the longest, and they demonetized that video. So like,
So
yeah,
there's certain
you probably have a strike through the algorithm. Like there's probably a little area in there that just says Cult of Dusty, and then it does its thing from there.
Right.
Dusty, why did you get banned from Twitter?
I said the word bitch, so they banned me for life for saying the word bitch. No, I'm not big shitting you. That's what they banned me for. So, Shoe on Head, I don't know if you know who that is, but her fans basically flagged me, and so they got me banned.
That makes sense.
So,
did you call
actually, it doesn't make sense, but
the free speech warriors. There says free speech warriors.
It makes sense because I've seen that happen to other people. Peter Gonna Go For It has had that happen to him before.
Tim DeMotivator, a lot of us.
No, the context.
I would say
the context matters. Did he call someone?
Yes, it does. But the thing, here's the important thing, man. You see, maybe somebody I don't necessarily ideologically like line up with like 100%, but I would still like never fucking like silence him or make something he said.
No,
like.
I would never want that either. I'm saying it makes sense from the perspective of they've done this before, so they would do it again. Not that I agree with it.
Yeah,
it makes sense under precedent they've set.
I'm on the same page there because that's
to attract a lot of shitlords, and shitlords they just want to act like shitheads to own the libs. And one of the ways they do that is they harass people they consider to be SJWs constantly, like me. Like I was banned from Facebook for like 11 months out of 12. I got 11 separate 30-day bans in 1 year on Facebook because a lot of it was because the Drunken Peasants fans were continuously harassing me, you know. So it's not just that everybody wants to act like the left is all against free speech and the left is the one getting everybody banned and everything doing this, but it's not my experience. In my experience, the right is just as bad about it.
So as TJ Kirk, is he targeted you personally?
Yeah, that's. I want to know what the situation is there. That's actually
kinda,
like,
well, back in the day, like we don't have much beef now. Back in the day, like he basically made a video telling his fans to vote for Trump, and I basically came out and I told him, you know, that's not a good idea. You shouldn't do that, and I said all the reasons I thought I shouldn't do that. And then he and Paul. They went on their Drunken Peasant show and they started making videos that I thought were very dishonest towards me, try to slander me and make their fans not like me. Basically, so they wouldn't really have to address the things I was actually saying. They could just basically ad hominem me, so people could just, you know, ignore what I was saying without having to actually defend against the arguments. And so that's basically what happened, in my opinion.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Chris, 1 to 90.
1 to 90. You know what? Let's go with 82.
Okay, this is also from Norman Geisler's Conversational Evangelism. So Norman Geisler is asking you this, not me.
Okay.
If every law needs a lawgiver, does it not make sense to say that a moral law needs a moral lawgiver?
It doesn't, because laws are not prescriptive; they're descriptive. And if we're the describers, like my general state has always been that ethics are to the individual and morals are to the society, which means they're constructed by that society. That moral, like, if somebody were to say, you know, please give me a moral law, like as murder as an example. Murder, let's use murder as a moral law, that it's one of the 10 commandments. We'll go ahead and go with that. If murder is a moral law, then I guess the entire animal kingdom's going to hell.
Right. Like,
well, no, murder is a unlawful killing.
Well, what makes it but now what makes it unlawful? But what makes it unlawful now?
Right.
Well, it's a construct.
It's not,
and now the entire concept has been destroyed for the theist.
Exactly.
Yeah. But the law isn't saying you should not do this thing. It is saying if
you will be punished if you do it.
You are guilty of a crime. Yes.
No.
So it's describing a thing that you just did and saying that if you do this thing, we are going to separate you from society and to protect the rest.
God commands killing all the time. He sends angels. He sends a flood. He sends all kinds of shit. And that's not murder because it's a lawful order.
So you're saying that Yahweh engages in special pleading and you're surprised?
Well, the argument, if I have to put my theist hat on, they would say, you don't know all ends and you don't know God's reasons for doing this thing because he could have some ultimate, like,
DCT,
unknowable reason why
divine
he did
command
all.
Theory even falls under ethical subjectivism.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
divine command theory falls under ethical subjectivism in all PhD writing. So,
and you could claim that about any claim of moral turpitude. Is you could say, you know, the reason why we have to say that you can't do this or you shouldn't do this is because this nebulous thing that you don't know how this action has, what effect this has on society or whatever.
You shouldn't preach Christianity because personally, my God, the morality sharding unicorn says that if you do preach Christianity, you will in fact drown in its moral shardiness. And because the shard is moral, you can't claim that it's wrong that you're drowning in it because it's moral by design.
Nice.
Right.
Just so any viewers may not have understood my view of morality, I'm going to just spout it right now and let this stew in your mind. I'm not going to like go into length about it, but try, as a thought experiment, try to view morality without saying the following 6 words: good, evil, right, wrong, should, and ought. Take those 6 words out of your conversation and now talk about morality. That's how I do it. Okay, anyway.
If it causes harm, then mayhap we don't do it.
Yeah, it's about total suffering versus total well-being. It's a Sam Harris. If you ever went,
that's moral landscape to a T.
The moral landscape, exactly. Okay, Dusty, 1 through 90.
50.
What is something about you that no one would believe? And I'm going to give you one of mine while you're thinking about it. I was Kylo Ren's martial arts instructor for 3 months. You can believe it or you cannot believe it.
I believe it.
Marine.
Kylo Ren.
I was Kylo Ren's martial arts instructor for 3 months.
Is that the guy with girls?
Adam Driver. I was his drone instructor in boot camp when he learned how to fight. Exactly.
Yeah.
Was he any good?
What is something about you that no one would ever believe? You want to go to someone else? Because I got like, literally dozens of them.
There's so many things. I
Oh, go ahead.
I was a professional gamer for a decade. People don't know that about
videos?
me. No, this is like before the YouTube phenomenon, basically. Yeah, I made about 40,000 a year on average.
You just won tournaments and did it that way.
No, basically, I played two different kinds. I played professionally in tournaments in a game called Tribes, but I didn't make any money doing that. I made most of my money selling items and online RPGs.
Wasn't Tribes Ascend by High Res Studios?
Yes, I think it was.
Their studio is actually an hour away from me.
Was it an MMO that you?
No, it's a MOBA. Tribes is a MOBA.
No, I'm asking Dusty about when he said he sold.
Yeah, like EverQuest, Astron's Call is how I made most of my money.
Okay.
Games like Anarchy Online, if anybody knows what that is, old school MMORPGs.
Yeah.
Old school MMOs when you actually could have functional economies that weren't broken.
Yeah. Dusty was a Korean gold farmer. Wow.
It was before that, actually. Like the Koreans ruined everything. Before that, they could make a lot of money, but the Koreans came in and they fucking changed the whole landscape.
Yeah.
Used to be able to make a decent bit of money off Diablo 3 as well, but then they threw the cash shop out the window.
Yeah, the real money auction house went away in Diablo 3. So, I mean, they got rid of that. You couldn't.
Yeah, they kind of had to get rid of it because fan outcry was like huge, but there were some people.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it was breaking what the game was supposed to be. Like I was playing Diablo 3 as if it were WoW, and if I'm playing Diablo 3 as if it were WoW, that's
yeah.
Because what I would do in WoW is I would get to a point where I went, quests give okay gear, but if I just use some of my money and buy some gear in the auction house, questing's a lot faster. And that philosophy was applying to Diablo, and that didn't really feel right.
It ruined the immersion of the game.
Yeah.
There were multiple problems with it, and they addressed it all by just saying, you know what, we're going to do away with this mechanism. So they just kind of got rid of everything. But still ended up being a fun game, a game that I actually played probably even up to a couple years ago. So
what was your favorite class?
Man, I played a wizard, man. I always played a wizard.
Demon
I had
hunter.
a crusader and I had a crusader and I had a demon hunter, but wizard was always my favorite.
I was a rogue for 4 years in a hardcore raid.
Oh, you're talking about WoW though.
You're talking about WoW. We're talking about
Diablo 3. We're talking about
I'm a witch doctor.
Witch doctor. You like playing witch doctor.
I'm a what's it called?
It's the
when you get above the level. It's Paragon. I'm a Paragon like 3000 witch doctor.
You guys all play on PC? Because if you play on PC, we should totally do a group game at some point.
I'm a console.
No, I just let my little what are those guys that are like constructed of like different parts?
Amalgamation or amalgams or whatever.
Something I just let them because I'm lazy.
You're a pet spec.
I'm a pet spec. I just let them go and just chew up everything, and I just sit there because I'm lazy. Yeah. All right, let me ask you something. I never played Rust. Has anyone played Rust? Because I've been so into like Rust videos, and I've never played it. It is so hardcore game.
Oh,
that's fine.
There we go.
Look at that baby.
There we go, buddy. That's better.
Look at that. We're going for the
sympathetic
views. The sympathy views. Yeah.
The kitty needs food, so give views, please.
Steve McRae gets 300 live views. We're at 30. We're at less.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
Get that Dusty bump. Hell's yeah.
Yeah, freaking tweet it out. Oh, you can't.
Hey, you can call it a Dusty bump because Arn's gone.
Pretty much. I mean, Arn's not in the title.
Chris, 1 to 90.
Feeding them.
Fine. I was feeding. It's as you were telling me how to feed it. Suddenly, he stopped drinking as much milk. Imagine that.
Are you guys coming back to Faithless Forum next year?
Oh, definitely. We're definitely planning on being at Faithless Forum.
I miss you guys
in April.
All right, yeah, and don't worry about a hotel. You can stay here.
Oh, sweet. That actually makes things a lot less complicated. We can also get some shooting done that way too.
Do you shoot?
Yeah. No, in the studio.
Like studio shooting.
I was about to say because
if you wanted to do some shooting back when I was a kid, I actually did get marksmanship awards. So if you want to do some shooting, I'd gladly do that too.
Oh shit! Does that sound?
This guy's an expert,
dude. I'm not gonna even show off my shit. Okay, yeah, we'll do some shooting too.
But Jim was basically just saying that when a Faithless Forum comes around this next year, we're not doing a hotel. We're just staying with Jim.
Oh, okay. Or TJ.
Or TJ. Either way.
I can't put up two people. I can put up one guy on my.
Fair enough.
We'll work something.
I have a 1-bedroom apartment. I'm a single guy.
And I have a wife that loves her privacy. So we'll work something out though.
We'll figure something out.
1 to 90, Chris.
Let's go with 3.
Oh, that might be never been done before. Where's 3? Oh,
3 right there.
Okay, this is very topical. Based on the midterm elections coming up. Ready? Are you a single issue? Are you a single issue voter? And what is the most important position you look for in a candidate?
So I'm not a single issue voter. There's a website that I use. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me right now, though. But it basically, no, it's not Pornhub.
That's funny. Yeah.
There's a website you can use that actually shows you if you're looking at a particular political candidate. It shows you quotes that they've said on different issues, going all the way down. They've got a list that shows everything. So whenever I'm actually thinking of a person that I'm going to support politically, I'm going to see if, basically with a checklist, if they have a net positive on a checklist for me or a net negative. If they have a net negative, even if there's an issue that they espouse that I want to espouse, I won't vote for them if it's a net negative, because I think that screws up too many people at the same time. As far as issues, right now, because of how pertinent it is and because of how many times I'm constantly fighting for it, one of the things I would say would be LGBTQ rights is one of the things that I just don't budge on. They're people, they deserve rights. People who think otherwise are stupid. I've had somebody in this community tell me that it's not wrong to say that somebody who's gay should not receive equal marriage rights. And it's somebody like in this community that I respect. And I don't agree with that position. That's a position that I won't budge on. But it's not, I still wouldn't be a single issue voter.
Marriage equality was like their last bastion. I mean, they already got that. So what other things do you think are being, like, as far as their rights are concerned, that are being infringed upon?
Employment rights are one thing. If you're like the state that I'm in right now is it's a right to work state. So if an employer can fire you here for simply being LGBTQ because they're allowed to fire you for anything, there's no real protection for that here. Not in Georgia.
Protected classes are a state by state issue. There's not a federal protection for anti-discrimination.
As far as I'm aware, as far as right to work goes, they're allowed to do it regardless. Because what'll happen?
Yeah, but
they're going to get you for They're going to get you for something else. But most employers are not stupid. They know that if they want to, get rid of it. Yeah, they will not say that that's the actual reason why they're doing it. They're going to find a reason that sounds legitimate and utilize it, and then hit you with it. And
that's the only reason I say that is because how can you know that actually, like, what percentage or what amount of people are actually being fired for those reasons when those things aren't being. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So to try to claim that it's a problem,
I've been fired twice for being
necessarily being honest by saying, yeah, well, we do know it's a problem because this many people are saying that these are the reasons why they got fired, when the case is actually we don't have those statistics and there's no way of knowing whether or not it is.
Yeah,
Dusty in the Ruby Red, Mississippi, are you a single issue voter?
No, I have a few issues that I'm really into, like universal health care, strong social safety nets, environmental reforms, Wall Street reforms would be good, in my opinion. Not giving $1.5 trillion to billionaires and putting it on the credit card, simple common sense stuff, in my opinion. And in my opinion, conservatives are almost 100% on the wrong side of every issue. So it's pretty simple to vote straight party lines, in my opinion.
In a state where you can't make any change, do you still vote though?
Oh God, I wish I could say yes, but no, I really don't. I know. But it doesn't matter
Go
here.
vote, bitch.
It doesn't matter though. Like the Republicans are going to win 100% of the time. Everything here. It's just like, what's the point? Like I'm sad to say that, but it's just reality. You know, it's just a waste of time. They're going to win every goddamn time here. And it's sad because there's
so many of you that think that way. Don't you think you might be able to make a change if you actually got off your ass and did something?
I don't think there's enough of them.
Yeah, maybe not now, but later.
I wish that were true. Don't like see that happening. Like my state is 50% black, and if the black people would vote, then it would be no problem.
My high school was 70% black.
Yeah, well,
I don't think skin color has anything to do with it.
That's an interesting point to make for a liberal, though. Where you're saying that basically that most of the minorities in your state are voting Republican.
Who did you vote for, TJ?
No, they're not voting Republican. They're not voting at all. That's the thing. They're definitely not voting Republican. They're just simply not voting. The black voters here are just like everywhere.
They're not the ones that are.
I'm not sure very many black people around here are voting Republican. I doubt. I assume a very small percentage are, just like nationwide.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I was asking.
They're just not voting.
If they actually voting, period. They feel disenfranchised. Like there's several really good documentaries on the subject too. The Bloods and the Crips on Netflix. Really good documentary about this, where it shows the disenfranchisement of the black community and how they don't really feel like have been made a part of this system, so they don't feel as obligated to vote in it or to behave as, in many ways, not all of them. Like it's a very small percentage, like I'm saying, but some of them don't feel like have as much skin in the game, so they're not as interested in becoming like, I don't want to
involved in it.
Well, I mean,
yeah, well, you know what? They're a powerful minority that can make some change if they got off their asses. Who did you vote for? Did you vote for Beto O'Rourke or Ted Cruz? TJ Tuttle,
Neil Dykeman.
He voted for the Libertarian candidate. So, what did you in effect do with your vote?
A lot of people say I threw it away, but I mean, I voted my conscience.
See, I really wish that we actually had. There's a few countries that have a system for voting that I wish we would adopt, where you're able to put your candidates on a scale, and if the candidate that you want doesn't get it, the vote goes to the next candidate on the scale.
Right, like a parliamentary system.
I really wish that we had that system here, because then you could go, this is the candidate that I want, and this is the necessary evil that I will take. Instead of saying I'm going to vote for the necessary evil just to stop the other one, you can go, I'm going to put my vote in for the person I believe in, and if they don't get it, at least I'll get the necessary evil.
Yeah, that seems better.
Suris, with your kitty, 1 to 90. This will be the last one.
This is the show's kitty right now.
This will be the last one, and we are cutting it after this.
We're going to talk to Dusty for a few minutes after we get
done. You got some things for him?
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, we invited Dusty to talk to us and to, you know.
All right, Suris, last question out of 90.
How about you pick it?
Oh, roll the D20. My favorite number, for some reason, I'm an atheist. I'm objective. I don't know why 84. My grandpa died at 84. I don't know why 84 is my number. Well, let's see what that is. Okay, TJ, you start, and then we'll go Dusty.
Oh, you're gonna ask me first?
Yeah. Would you agree that it takes a? Oh, this is another Norman Geisler bullshit.
Oh no, but these are easy though for me because.
All right. Would you agree that it takes a cause sorry. Let me start over. Would you agree that it takes a cause to make a small glass ball found in the woods? And would you agree that making that glass ball larger does not eliminate the need for a cause? If so, doesn't the biggest ball of this is a ontological argument?
Is this a look at trees thing?
Yeah, no, it's an ontological. If then doesn't the biggest ball of all, i.e. the whole universe, need a cause? So imagine a glass ball in the forest, imagine a bigger glass ball, imagine the biggest possible glass ball, i.e. the universe, need a cause. It's a total ontological argument. Chris, you're probably the best equipped.
Do I agree with causation that effects have to have causes?
A glass ball we know has to be created by a human, not a human, but an intelligent agent.
Okay, so
that's
problem with the question.
Yeah, it's a really malformed. It's a really strangely formed question. Yeah.
So here's the thing with this. This is a question that's basically making an ontological claim based on the laws of physics, saying that the laws of physics needed a certain number of causes for an effect to happen. The effect being the universe as we know it today. The thing is, in physics, there is no cause and effect.
Yes.
In physics, in the study of physics, cause and effect is not, they're not terms that are used in high level physics, which is what you would need for, creating of a universe. They're completely human concepts. They're defined as, if you see A and then you later see property B, A causes B. That's a definition. That's a whole, that's an analytical philosophical notion. It has nothing to do with the laws of physics, though. That's all a human construct. Yeah. It's a malformed question because it's based on the perception of a human, and it's meant to lead the reader to the idea that a deity had to do something. But if it's all based on the perception of a human who cannot see a deity, then it's malformed from the beginning.
Anyone got anything to add to that?
Yeah, but above glass is in sand, right? So even then, it's possible to be naturally, the natural laws of physics,
Yeah,
he's right. Better question would be how did it come to be, not who made it.
Yeah. Not to mention whenever you're implying cause and effect, even if we were to grant that that's a real thing in the laws of physics all the time, cause and effect by its very nature is an infinite chain. Yeah. It can't stop anywhere. Even if you get to the deity, you still have to worry about what caused the deity, in what form or fashion caused it. It's an infinite chain that can't end.
I've heard this, and I'm probably going to say it wrong, but you're walking on a beach and you come across a pebble part of the beach, and among all these pebbles, you see a pocket watch, and you know there's something different about that pocket watch. It had to have been created. But then the flip side of it is you're walking along the beach and you see a entire pebble beach full of pocket watches. That's more like what we're talking about.
The blind watchmaker is the thing.
The blind watchmaker.
Yeah, but the thing that people who make the watchmaker argument fail to realize is that the way we determine a thing that is designed is by comparing it to something in nature.
We compare it to other design things.
Nature is the key word.
Right. We compare it to things that aren't designed.
Like, for instance, if you have a we know that the Fibonacci sequence leads to things being incredibly aesthetically pleasing. So there are works of art that will use the Fibonacci sequence to make a rotational object look very aesthetically pleasing. However, we know that naturally occurs all the time as well.
Snowflakes, right?
Snowflakes are a wonderful example. Just the fact that you see something as beautiful and the fact that, artists create something that's beautiful, it doesn't mean that nature can't do the same damn thing.
Right. We seem to be drawn to things that are symmetrical, in a lot of ways. Like when we're talking about classic, that's what I'm saying. Like when you're talking about classic forms,
exactly.
Right? Classical perceptions of beauty, like beauty in human beings. It's like we look for something that looks the same uniformly, like symmetry,
and approximations of infants, because infants are naturally we draw to them. What do they have? They have big eyes
and features.
Eyes don't grow. Eyes don't grow. When you're born, your eyes are the same size they are as an adult.
Really?
Yeah. That's why infants have unnaturally huge eyes. That's why they're so appealing to us.
Yeah.
And so
eyes,
like a human with like unnaturally large eyes is going to be appealing to us.
And that's a big difference, like as far as like biological sex too, because men are more like, we're kind of like squinty eyed, like we have these steeled eyes where we're like, they're smaller, and women have bigger eyes.
This explains why the internet loves anime girls.
Yeah, because they have big
giant eyes.
Yeah.
Let me
and little tiny mouths.
As the last thought, let me throw this at all of you. This is a thought experiment I had. Tell me where it falls flat. If I were to talk to like a Ray Comfort type, and he always says a painting has a what? I'm sorry. Have you ever lied in your life?
Oh my God!
Of course, you're going to say
and you're
yes.
a liar. Have you ever sinned in your life? Then you're a sinner.
There, go ahead and say it, sir. Let's go through all of it.
It's like if you ever lied in your life, then you're a sinner. Have you ever murdered? Then you're a murderer. Then if you've sinned, you're a sinner. And if you're a sinner, you go to hell.
Right.
You need the salvation of Jesus.
So my follow-on would be: Have you ever
take God's banana?
Have you ever had a crisis of faith in your life? And any Christian that says no is a liar. First off, so they're always going to say at least once I've had a crisis of faith in my life. And if they say yes, which they probably will if they're honest, I can say you are an agnostic. Yes. Where does my argument fall flat?
It's not that your argument falls flat. It's that it's pointing out that Ray's argument was malformed to begin with.
Yeah, and I don't think that, well, atheists could be either agnostic or gnostic. I mean, they could either say, yes, I know that there is a God, or they could say, I don't know, but
every
I believe.
Christian you know has had a crisis of faith at least once.
Yeah.
So that being said, aren't all Christians agnostics? There, I win. I fucking won the internet.
I see what you're saying.
Did I not win the internet?
You think it's
gonna do that? If you're gonna do that to Ray Comfort, then yes, it destroys what Ray Comfort is saying. But Ray Comfort has never said anything that wasn't easy to destroy.
Yeah, he's not really the
like Origin. When I get there, I will give you a cookie for it. You do deserve a cookie for it.
All right. Okay. Let's start with.
I have my last.
You have plugs? Okay, go.
No. I'm just. I want to talk to Dusty for a little bit. We've kind of been like jumping around a lot, and we invited the guy. He's been nice enough to come onto the live stream with us. So I really want to kind of just address him and talk to him a little bit. So, one of the things I wanted to ask him about is how. Okay, so me personally, you were probably when I was. Like I would say it's been a long time since I actually believed in God, if you want to call it that, whatever. And watching Cult of Dusty videos was one of the things that kind of like started me down the path, like watching Cult of Dusty and Christopher Hitchens videos and Sam Harris videos and Dark Matter 2323 videos and 2525, yeah. And so it was stuff like that kind of made me like start to realize like, hey, these guys think exactly about this one subject, exactly how I feel about it. And it was one of those things where it was like, it felt formative and it was like a seminal part of my life where I was like, these people actually,
he has no idea his influence.
Yeah. Guy, yeah.
I don't think he knows his influence.
You've had dude, like realize it, and you've had a huge impact on a lot of people's lives for the better, I think.
Yep.
And so how has that, like, is that something that you've ever like examined in your life and tried to come to terms with?
Soak it in.
Yeah. How has that, like, has that ever changed anything that you've like gone through in your life or changed the perspective that you've had or maybe colored your interactions with the public at all?
Now, to be honest with you, I feel awkward when people compliment me because I don't feel like that about myself. Like, I don't feel like I've done anything. Like, I sleep like 18 hours a day. Like, I hadn't done shit. Like, I literally just took the last month off to play with kittens for a month. Like, I don't. And so when people say shit like that, I'm like, I appreciate it, but like, I know the truth.
You don't know what
I know the truth about myself, and I'm nobody. I'm just like, I haven't done anything, and so like I appreciate it, but I just don't see it like that. I just don't see like I don't know. I don't feel that way about myself.
Well, you do have that. I mean, you have had that effect on people.
We're not sucking your cock.
No, I mean,
I've had people tell me this a lot. I just don't know how to respond to it because I just see myself totally different. Like I'm just like a normal person, like I've done nothing, and I could have done so much more. And like it makes me feel bad almost. Like,
do you feel like it gives you almost a little bit more responsibility towards what you like, the things that you put out in public and what you say and what you do?
Yeah, it's horrible. I don't want that responsibility. It's horrible. Like I want to be irresponsible as possible. Like I'm still just a big kid.
I got one more thing.
So,
sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Jim.
The pot stealing thing, the video, go back to Dusty Smith's videos, but the time when the guy is a bad deal and you doxed that person, you got a lot of shit for it. I'm not throwing softballs right now.
I don't know about doxing him, but yeah. I said his name. I didn't give his address or anything, but yeah, I told some guy robbed me, and I knew who it was, and I was like, "This motherfucker robbed me." Rudy Wiley, that's his name. Fuck you, Rudy Wiley. You robbed me, motherfucker. Hell yeah, I'm gonna say your name, motherfucker. You robbed me. I'm gonna tell everybody.
Two questions. Did you get your? Did you exact your revenge on him? And B, how do you answer everyone's calls for why did you out him?
Oh, because he robbed me. Yeah. If he robbed me, fuck you. I don't give a shit. But yeah, I think he went to hiding for a little while. So he was looking over his shoulder for a long time. He doesn't feel good about himself. He had to sneak around a bit. So
did he ever ingratiate himself to you? Did he ever come to you and say, "Hey, listen, I was fucked up"?
No, I never heard from him. He avoided me at all costs, I expect him to.
Yeah.
But
all right.
There's some other stuff I really can't talk about too much. There's some 3-letter organizations that are doing drug enforcement in that area that have eyes on him now and stuff because of my video. I'm not really, because my uncle was the mayor of the town that happened in. So
that's a good tie into to something I could ask you about then, because you touched on it a couple times. So what's your so a little background. We have 10. So there are 39 states total if you count medicinal, and then we have 10 states recreational. So what do you feel like is going to be the timeline for marijuana legalization in the country? What's your take on it?
Unfortunately, it'll be the last here. Mississippi will probably be the last state that makes it legal.
Yeah,
because it's so backwards here. But I do definitely see it legal everywhere in 20 years.
You're in favor, right?
Oh hell yeah!
20 years?
Within 20 years, everywhere.
I think we're within 10. I think
we're within 5. You know why? Because look at gay marriage. As soon as 10 or 12 got gay marriage, all the dominoes fell.
Yeah, but there was no money on the line with gay marriage. There's a lot of money on the line.
No, there's some money on the line with gay marriage. Think about it.
Not like legalization.
They put up a lot of money for marriage ceremonies.
Yeah, but
cakes and fucking parties.
You got to realize the state.
Those people can party.
Yeah, but you have to realize the state of law enforcement in this country.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of people who are going to be out of work when marijuana becomes legal. I mean, it's just going to be it's a fact.
Dominoes are going to fall.
So, but yeah, I do agree that once I think a certain number.
When Texas falls, Mississippi will fall.
It's going to be because we were 49th on marriage equality or something like that. So that's
who was 50th?
Fucking Mississippi was 50. Yeah. So
all right,
we beat you on one thing.
We're still has an education, so we still win.
Yeah.
Surus plugs upcoming events.
Hey, ideally here on Monday, my upload should be a video where I'm bringing on he's a guy I brought on my channel early on, called Mr. Logic. He's pretty much exclusively lived and grown up only in areas that either will kill you or imprison you for being an atheist. So I know where he lives, but I cannot say where he lives because I want him to be safe. But I have asked him if he's got some time to send me some audio of his experiences over the last year, because the last time he was on my channel was almost a year ago. So I'm going to see if I can get him on my channel again to relay some of his experiences, see what's changed. If anything, most of it's probably not, but I figured, one side of the coin, I want other people to know that not every place is like America where there's just a social stigma for being atheist. Some places will just kill you for being an atheist. Secondly, I want to see him get some more subscribers so he will get some more content out to his people, one of them being me. But that's the main thing coming out.
Surus the Skeptic on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, all that.
Yep. I've also got a gaming channel now for people who care about that.
All right, we'll do our plugs and then Dusty last. We have a 9-part coming up. It's not even edited yet, so it's not going to be out for a while. All this Aaron Ross shit's going to come out first. But we are doing a takedown of J. Warner Wallace's book, Cold Case Christianity. And that is Chris and I, the other co-host, are doing a takedown of this entire book. It's a 9-part. It's going to be about a 9-part series, maybe 7-ish at the least. But we're going to do a takedown of that book. And we have Richard Carrier in the Dallas-Fort Worth area from 11 November to 13 November. He's doing book club meetings. He's doing pub meets. He's doing live show. He's doing recording in our studio. He's going to be sitting right here. So Dr. Richard Carrier, Jesus Mythicist, that's our plugs. And now Dusty.
You can catch me on thecultofdusty.com or at YouTube at Cult of Dusty. And I'm soon to be doing a new podcast with Creationist Cast, Vadim, and Tim DeMotivator called The Gotcha Boys. So look forward to that next month. And that's about it.
All right. Hey, so we want to thank everybody that came to hang out for this. Chris, Cyrus the Skeptic, we appreciate your time coming to hang out with us. As always, it's a pleasure. And we really want to thank our very special guest that was with us on the live stream tonight, Dusty Smith, who is of Cult of Dusty fame. So we really appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, man. It was a pleasure. Anytime you want to come back and talk to us again, you're very welcome.
Appreciate it. Have fun, guys. Thanks a lot.
Later.
Later.
Take it easy, dudes.